So for this activity, we are going to need a pair of scissors, some glue, some pens and some pieces of paper. Now you can use coloured bits of paper. I don't have any coloured paper at the moment at home, so I'm just going to use plain paper or white paper. The first thing that we need to do in order to make our paper chain snake is we're going to make some strips. We're going to cut some strips along our paper. You can do this two ways. I'm going to keep my bits of paper together so that I can cut two at the same time, but if you find that a bit tricky, that's fine. You can draw some straight lines first to help you if you want to. So trying really hard to do a straight line from top to bottom, like that, and you can cut along your straight line, holding your paper in your non-cutting hand and holding your scissors correctly, making sure your thumb is at the top and cutting at the back of the blade. So we're going up and down, making sure we're cutting at the back of the blade. There we go, along my straight line. Okay, so I've now cut out two strips because I had two pieces of paper together, and you can keep doing that. So I'm going to draw another straight line starting top, going down to the bottom. Now I'm upside down for you, aren't I? So let me show you doing it this way. And start at the top, try and do as straight as possible, and again straight line down, trying to go straight as possible. You can see I'm holding my pen correctly, using 3 fingers to hold my pen. I've got my second hand on my paper to stabilise it, trying to go straight as possible all the way down my paper, not making my lines too skinny. Oh, my pen's starting to run out a bit, that's okay, I can still see it. And last one, top all the way down to the bottom. So I've practiced drawing straight lines, which is really helpful when I'm doing my handwriting to be able to make a straight line. Okay, so going back to cutting, making sure my thumb is at the top when I'm cutting, using the back of the blades going up and down. Okay, and again. So I'm going to do mine a bit quicker now, but I would like you to be really careful, making sure you're practicing those cutting skills really carefully. Trying not to get zigzaggy lines. And stay straight on the lines that you've made, going up and down, making sure your thumb always stays on the top when you're cutting. Okay, there we go. So I've got my strips of paper ready to make my snake. Now what I could do is I could spend some time decorating my strips of paper. Now I've seen quite a few snakes that have got diamonds on their backs. I've seen pictures of them, so I'm going to have a go at doing some more straight lines. I know Diamond's got 4 straight lines, so having a go at making diamond shapes. I think I'm going to put 3 on this one. There we go, and then I could colour those in. Now you get so many different types of snakes, so you could either copy a picture of a snake that you can find on the computer or in a book that you might have, or you can make up your own snake design. I'm just making up my own because I like designing, I like thinking of new ideas, so that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm trying my hardest to stay inside the lines of the diamond I've drawn. You can see that my pens have been used an awful lot, so they're running out a bit, but what I'm trying to do is get rid of all of the white underneath so that I've got a solid block of colour. Now I'll do one last one, purple. Oh, there we go, this pen's working nicely. I love new pens. I think it might be time for me to get some more new pens. Okay, so there we go. Now I can do lots of different decorations on the different strips. On this one, I might want to do some circles, dotty parts. I'm practicing drawing my circles really neatly. On another one, I might want to do some zigzags. So practice zigzagging up and down, zigzag, and these straight lines up and down with pointy tops and pointy bottoms. These are all patterns that, if we can practice now, really help us with our handwriting patterns that we need. This last one, I'm going to do some loops. This is quite a tricky shape to make. Up and round, up and round, up and round. There we go. Okay, now I'm not going to do all of those because it will just take me too long. So I've just done a few to show you. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to get my first strip of paper. I'm going to turn it upside down so I can't see the pattern. I'm going to put some of my glue. Now I've got this really cool purple glue, but you don't have to use purple glue. You might just have white glue. And I'm going to fold over. So can you see here, I'm going to put the gluey bit on top of the other side, and I've made a loop. That's my first loop in my chain. Okay, now I'm going to get my second part. I'm going to do, now this is the tricky bit because I've got to join them together. So I've got this loop here, this circle. I'm going to get my straight piece of paper. I'm going to push it through, and we're going to join it together. Can you see there? Now, it's got to rest that bit there, fold this over. I'm going to put my purple glue on only one side, all the way across like that. I'm going to get the other side, making sure they're joined together. You can check by doing that. I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to press down with my fingers and thumb to make sure they join. Okay, so there we go. I'm now starting to get this chain effect. You just keep going. So I'm going to get my next one again, turn it upside down so we can see the pattern on the outside. Make sure it's gone through. You can check it by wriggling it around. I'm going to get my purple glue. I'm going to put it on one side only, just on the edge. I'm going to get the other side. Make sure it's joined. Push it down. 1, 2, 3. There we go, it's looking really good now. Get my next one, thread it through, make sure it's attached. Get my glue, put it on one side only, jiggle it around, make sure it's still attached, and push it down. And you can keep doing that with all of the different patterns that you've made. I'm going to leave mine there for now because it will take me too long to do it all. Now, the finishing touch is making this snake look like a snake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 eyes on my snake. There we go. Might make it a girl. Give it some eyelashes, little nose. There we go. Now, if you've got googly eyes, you could use googly eyes for that, couldn't you? And a snake most definitely needs a long, slithering tongue. So I am going to use one of the spare bits of paper I've got, and I'm going to go make a shape of a long tongue. There we go. I'm going to colour it in red. You could make it even longer if you wanted to. Now this is some tricky cutting out here. Again, making sure my thumb's at the top. I'm going to cut this out really carefully. You can do different shaped tongues if you want to. I decided to do a tongue like this because I know that snakes tend to have a bit of a V at the end of their tongue. Can you see it there? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn mine over, and I'm going to colour the other side as well, really carefully. I'm using a bit of paper underneath so that I don't mark my table. There we go. And I've done that because what I can do now is I'm going to wrap my tongue around my finger and make it curl up a little bit. Can you see that? I've wrapped it around my finger really gently, and he's got a bit of a curly tongue. There we go. And now I'm going to put some glue just just on the very end of his tongue. And I'm going to touch it just underneath his nostrils. And I'm going to curl his tongue up. And roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. There we go. And when we unroll it, he's got a lovely, curly, slithering tongue. And you can make a short snake like mine, or you might want to make a really long snake with lots of different patterns.